Hello and welcome to May the Review Be With You with Nick and Joe. I'm Joe.
And I'm Nick, and today we are talking about Lanterns. This is James Gunn's DC Universe's newest installment, starring, oh my goodness, good start, starring Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre. Of course, Kyle Chandler, I did get there. My goodness. Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan, of course, and Aaron Pierre as John Stewart. We're 2 episodes in. 8 episode series. Yeah. Joe, thoughts so far?
All right. So if you've been listening to us for a while, you know that when we used to do Put It On Your List, I was talking about Lanterns like 2 years ago. And I was very excited about that show then, especially when it was announced that Aaron Pierre was cast for this role. About who was going to get the job of Hal Jordan. And we have an answer. It's Kyle Chandler. Kyle Chandler is Hal Jordan, the guy from Friday Night Lights. It's him. He's gonna don the jumpsuit and he's gonna jump in a jet. He's gonna wear the ring. Nick, how we feeling?
I have no idea where they're going with this. It's like totally shocking to me.
I had an eyebrow raise for Kyle Chandler, but both have been magnificent picks. They're both like exactly who I want and need them to be. I love this show, Nick. So far, this show has been delivering for me. We're only 2 episodes in, but both of those episodes, that pilot episode especially, man, absolute fire. If I were to describe what Lanterns is in terms of shows or movies that we've seen before, it feels like True Detective meets The Men in Black. It feels like that. You know, especially with like the mentor rookie like role that Hal and John have in this show. It feels very like J and K.
Yeah, this is the best show on television right now. I'm not.
Hell yeah! Come at us.
We're
laying the gauntlet down right here.
Like it's just so well done, and it's perfect. The True Detective like Men in Black comparison. It's like really a great way to explain what the show is, and just the chemistry that these two have so far on screen is like, it's crazy good. You can't, like, you can write a script that's awesome, right? Which obviously the script is great, but you still need the actors to really gel, and you still need the casting to go well. And they absolutely crushed this. Like, it's got to be one of the best casting matchups like in so long. Like they're just so good on screen together, and it's hilarious. It's like James Gunn humor, you know, reminds you of Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit with like how funny this is while still kind of being serious and like building in stakes.
Fairly dark. Yeah,
fairly dark. We talk about like building in stakes like on in stories like on the podcast a lot, and like this one like does a great job while still being funny and giving us those like laughs. And honestly, like it's not too superhero-y just yet either, right? Like they're just kind of like sprinkling in like some use of the ring and some like training for John Stewart. But like, it's really more like you kind of said, like it's more of like a True Detective story right now, right? Like, which I think is what they were going for anyway, but it's really cool to see them actually stick to it so far in the first episodes.
Yeah, completely agreed. I am curious if we will retain that feeling. I kind of hope, even like as a superhero fan, I kind of hope that we do retain this feeling that like we have this superhero show in a world that doesn't feel very superhero-y. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep that with the end of episode 2 before we get into spoiler territory, where I'm just letting you know right now, if you haven't seen it yet, fair warning, get out now and go watch it, because we will be talking about spoilers here today. Nick, I have so many questions just coming out of the first episode. So many. And the first one I want to run by you is, what was up with the hologram? Which, by the way, love the pun. It almost feels like the mystery of everything is kind of kicked off very, very fast in the first episode after Hal who is training John, why is Hal training John? We don't know. That there's a question. We don't know. Yeah. There's never been a Green Lantern that's trained another Green Lantern, or like a mentor and someone to carry on the torch sort of relationship, at least in this universe, right? So I don't know why that's happened. When John is alone with the ring, the hologram appears. Hal from 10 years back, letting John know to tell current Hal that there is a hail in Rushville, which of course Hal, as soon as he learns this message, runs to Rushville, which of course is where our mystery and our stakes are taking place. This is the moment where we find out 4 people at first we hear are shot, and there's a homicide investigation, and is later revealed that these are aliens.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a setup.
Hell of a setup. Hell of a start too, right? Like we get to see John Stewart wear the ring for the first time when he's in that opening sequence, right? Where like Hal's testing him, crashes the car, leaves the ring. Here's your first test with the ring, buddy. Like, like, so we're getting some really fun moments there.
Actually, before you move on from that, that's another question too. What's up with John's dad? John's dad briefly makes, so we see John's dad and John, well, not John, but his siblings appear to be very afraid of John's dad.
Mm-hmm.
John obviously has no fear.
Yeah.
They do a little bit of William Tell where John's dad shoots with a gun an apple off of John's head, and he shows no fear, and John's dad appears to be very proud of him.
I have a feeling that John's dad is so high up in the military that he's been grooming his son for this role specifically, and he's probably part of the reason he even has this role.
It kind of feels like that,
It feels like that. It feels like that. We'll see.
Yeah, some kind of organization has been grooming John for this at some point. Some kind of maybe military agreement with the Guardians. Who I don't know. I don't know.
But then based on the end of episode 2, again, spoilers, the way that Sinestro kind of words this last question to Hal, or not question, but that statement, right? About like, if there is a Manhunter, is the second biggest problem or biggest like worry for you on Earth. And then he asks about John Stewart, which implies that John Stewart is the biggest worry that Hal Jordan should have about people on Earth. So this kind of goes back to what you were just saying. It's like, who put John Stewart in place, and do we actually have to worry about him or not? And within this universe, right? Very interesting.
So I'm so glad you brought that up, because I remember I wasn't sure, and it's purposely kind of ambiguous when Sinestro says this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure if he was saying that because like he knows that there's something like more to John, and like it does appear that there is something more to John, right? And I'll get into why in a second. Is there something more to John, or is he trying to get under Hal's skin here, right? Because like the only thing you have to be more worried about is John, who's going to replace you, right? Like
that's a good point. Yeah,
you're a man who's running out of time.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan, right? Like it almost feels like that's maybe what he's doing, unless you're right, unless like there is something going on with John, because John creates a construct that kind of baffles everybody. It's literal life. He creates a bird.
Yeah.
And everyone who like understands the lore of like the Lantern in this universe is like blown away by the fact that he's done this.
Yeah. And it's really cool how the show did this for us too, right? Like he does this, and Hal Jordan has like a reaction that's kind of, it's really just his mannerisms that he reacts with. It's not really his words. And in that initial scene, you're kind of like, I wonder what Hal's kind of thinking, because he's kind of, it looks like he's contemplating something else in his head without telling John. And then we find out from the aliens that are hunting the Manhunter, that like this is actually like a really hard thing for anyone to do, and really advanced basically for Lantern. And he's not even doing it with the ring near him. And so it was really cool how they kind of gave us those two scenes and that kind of reveal for John Stewart understanding. It was like, oh, wow, maybe I can do this because I've done this that's like apparently really difficult, and I didn't even get a hoorah. It's like such great way to present that information. And the other thing that I thought was really cool about how, so far it hasn't been so superhero-y, if you will. And I know you mentioned that we finally get to see the suit at the end of the second episode. And you're going to have to, give me some ideas here, because off the top of my head, I can't think of any. I can't think of the last time that we had a superhero suit reveal that was so laid back and nonchalant and like honestly not even like specifically made important on screen, right? This because that's the first time we see Hal put on the suit at the end of the second episode, and it was like the most throwaway, like, oh yeah, I have to put this on only because I have to go to the prison in space or wherever this is to talk to Sinestro.
I think I disagree with you. I mean, like, I get what you're going for, because like usually like in movies and shows, like when there's something, when the superhero suit gets put on, it's usually like in this epic moment, right?
Like the first time, right. There's like a bigger buildup of like, oh, man, this was awesome. Like they built it up, but they built it up in like it's not important way.
See, I think that's where I disagree, because like in the first episode, when Hal is getting tacos, somebody asks like, why don't you wear it anymore? And he responds like, I wear it on special occasion, right? So I think maybe he does have to like when he goes to prison or when he goes to like the Guardians world, he has to be in uniform, right? He's a beat cop. He's got to be in uniform. Got to wear the tie, right? But maybe like that very like subtle, like are subtle. that laid back approach of putting on the suit, like, and coupled with the fact that, he says, I only put it on special occasion. Him going to like Sinestro, like he needs to put on the suit because he needs to like be seen as the Green Lantern now. Like he can't be seen as just Hal. He's got to be seen as Green Lantern of Earth, because like this is like, I presume if this is like the Sinestro that we are at least like fairly familiar with like in our world, right? That this is a mortal enemy of Hal. It doesn't look like Sinestro has gotten a yellow ring yet. That might not be a thing yet in this show. Although I will say, I think it's very fun that this show is called Lanterns, right? Lanterns, plural. And so far, 2 episodes in, we've only known one, to my knowledge, right? Yeah. We've only known one ring, one lantern. I'm not counting Sinestro anymore since he's in prison.
Yeah.
Feels like he's been stripped of that status. So when does another lantern show up? I don't know.
All right.
Could be Sinestro, could be someone else.
Or are Stewart and Jordan just going to be tossing the ring back and forth so they're both lanterns at different times?
Maybe. Oh, I will say, okay. So episode 1 hits us with 3 different points in time, which, man, so true detective-y. I love that, right? Breaking up like the mystery like over spans of years. John starts out being mysterious, right? Like we don't really know what's going on with John and John Sr. And at the end it is revealed that 10 years after the plot is taking place. So the plot's taking place 2016, right? These years are so important, not just for this show, but for like the greater like James Gunn DC universe. And I'll get to why in a second. Is revealed that in 2026, Hal is dead, right? And he seems to be freshly dead. And then John goes to look for the ring, and the ring's missing, right? So it is implied here that someone has taken the ring. Has someone taken not John's ring, sorry. Has someone taken Hal's ring? Or is this the introduction of Guy Gardner, who we saw in Superman? I made sure to look this up. Superman takes place in 2025, right? So Guy should already have his ring and be a lantern on Earth by the time Hal dies. So this to me says there are 2 Green Lanterns, at least 2 Green Lanterns on Earth, at least for some year or like months and change time before Hal dies, right? So I think that takes Guy off the table of taking Hal's ring.
But in the lore, does Guy specifically take Hal's ring? Oh
God. All right. So like it really depends on what you're looking at, because like there are certain points where there are multiple Green Lanterns at the same time. Like John, Hal, and Guy have all existed at the same time, but like in order. I mean, like John comes next. I actually think Kyle Rayner comes after John, and then it's Guy. I might be wrong on that. Maybe it's Kyle Rayner. I don't know. But
God, that's so interesting for just the James Gunn DC universe, like, and how they're going to set all this up, because we've already had, like you said, the Guy Gardner introduction in Superman. So, God, it's so interesting. And I freaking love Aaron Pierre. This dude is awesome. He's an incredible actor. I hope that we get to see a ton more of him, like in this show and in future DC stuff, because like he's a baller. He's freaking awesome.
If you enjoy him a lot, I have something that you should put on your list.
Don't say it.
Don't
say Rebel Ridge.
Rebel Ridge, which is a fantastic movie starring Aaron Pierre. It is a great movie, a great time, and something I've been recommending for like 2 freaking years now.
Yeah, Joe has been recommending it for a while. I'm going to actually have to watch it now because Aaron Pierre has skills. Straight up.
Bro, you're gonna start the movie, you're gonna start Rebel Ridge, and you're gonna be like 120 seconds into it, and you're gonna text me and you're gonna be like, I can't rip my eyes away from this. Like, it is that intense.
Yeah, I'm gonna text you and be like, how come you didn't tell me about this movie sooner?
That will really test our friendship.
It's been tested.
That will really do it, Nick. That will really do it.
That's not even close. I got more.
Yeah, that's true.
Man.
As far as our friendship goes, I'm surprised this hasn't come up yet. So Nick and I, we are, for better or for worse, very big fans of the ABC hit television drama Lost. And there is a very familiar name in the writing credits of this show, Damon Lindelof, who famously co-wrote Lost. I felt a little nervous, actually, when I saw his name. Not that I think he's a bad writer or anything. I think Damon is a talented writer. But Lost was such an interesting roller coaster experience. I love Lost. I really do. Do I think Lost is a perfect show? Absolutely not. So that did give me a little bit of concern here. However, after the first episode, I think my concerns have really been removed. It really feels like we're moving in a direction that feels very planned, very like methodically planned, right?
Yeah, definitely methodically planned. So let's talk highlights real quick.
Sure.
We have to talk about the interrogation scene in episode 1.
Yeah, that's a big standout. So yeah, they've arrested the only suspect in the shooting at the football field, and they suspect that Waylon is an alien. And the
Yeah.
scene is Hal trying to get Waylon to admit that he is in fact an
Yeah.
alien.
Yeah. And the concept here is that aliens are only like taught to remember like specific things. They're not taught like history of like humans. Like they wouldn't know something that all humans know. They would just know what they were specifically told to know, right? So
yeah, like the human that he's replacing, like everything that human would
right.
probably know.
But not like general human knowledge. Like, and then Hal Jordan uses the whole, you know, where did Harry Potter go to school? And this guy's like, no idea. And then he goes on a tangent and lists like famous people's names and gets to Barack Obama. And he's like, oh, Barack Obama. And gives you like a robotic 44th president of the United States. There's some issues around his birth certificate, like some robotic answer that is just like proves. And then everyone in the watching is just like, holy shit, he is an alien.
Right.
Such an awesome scene.
Right, because this guy from Rushville, Nebraska, population 800, has like a very like targeted answer about Barack Obama that's not negative and like in the slightest. They're like, absolutely not. We don't believe it anymore. Like that guy's an alien.
It's hilarious. But like and what the show does really well is that, you know, they set up how aliens are like taught human knowledge in that scene. And then in the next episode, when Stewart gets kidnapped by the aliens who are looking for the Manhunter, the aliens are interrogating him kind of, right? They're asking him some questions, trying to figure out what he knows. And they use a couple words and phrases that are like not quite correct for what they want to mean in their sentences. And that is a dead giveaway for Stewart to be like, I see that that human language is not your first language, right? And so he kind of learns from that first interrogation, like, okay, I know what I need to be listening for, and he figures it out pretty quick that he's not dealing with just like regular humans kidnapping him. He's dealing with a different species who have just taken the human bodies, basically.
I mean, you're so right, and like that's not just like the writers like teaching us about like how aliens are infiltrating Earth and like what tactics they take, but also it's showing us like how smart and like how observational John is, right? And like we keep seeing that consistently. Like you point out like right there, like he's able to zero in on what it is that they're saying. He's able to deduce fairly fast. So these are probably the same people who are connected with Waylon, right? And the episode before, when they're at the football field, before like it's really introduced that the people shot were aliens, Hal asks John what he thinks happened at the field, and like very like NCIS, like John like able like very quickly just like looking at like, you know, the scene after it happened posits like this theory about how you know, there was this rush out onto the field. That's why the fence collapsed. And knowing that it's Nebraska, there were a couple of like Nebraskans who were probably strapped. And like, you know, it felt so much like that scene in Men in Black when Jay shoots the sign or like the picture of the little girl with the atomic physics book. And they're like, why did you do that? And like he like, you know, he lists all these reasons as to why he didn't shoot any of like the clear monsters and why he only shot the little girl, right? It felt very like on brand for that. Like they both have like that kind of analytical thinking.
Yeah, very smart, and they give that to us. They set that up well for him. What else stands out to you?
I mean, like I said, man, like I'm filled with questions. Obviously, the big one at the end of episode 1 or episode 2 is who is the Manhunter? And I mean, the obvious answer feels like, so we're introduced in episode 1 to Will Mackin, who is taking care of this ranch, right? And he's a very shady guy. The whole family's shady. His wife is shady. His like 10-year-old son is shady. Like everyone in this family is shady, and they have technology that they shouldn't have. There is also an employer who owns the ranch that Will is taking care of the ranch for, right? So like the obvious answer feels like, okay, it's probably the ranch owner. I don't know. There's something weird about Zoe Macon, the wife. There's something super strange about her.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, she gives me the vibe that like she might be maybe she's the Manhunter, which makes it even more hilarious that Stewart slept with her. If that is the case,
no,
that would have some insane implications. If that so,
I did not consider that.
The Manhunter,
that is
no one said the Manhunter had to be a man, right? I mean, it could be a female alien. Like, why does it have to be a man?
Red herring, purposeful red herring.
Could be her.
And you know what? She slayed a man already. She already slayed John. So like, Manhunter. Boom, we got it.
We done. See ya.
We done. It's Zoe.
We figured it out. Speaking of the women in the show, though, Carrie, the sheriff.
Carrie. Yeah.
Love this little slide-in detail in episode 2 that she's originally from Gotham City.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was like, all right, that's cool. Let's get some Gotham going in James Gunn's DC universe, huh?
Actually, yeah, you're right. Is that the first Gotham mention we've gotten?
In his universe, I think so.
Yeah, right before Clayface comes out too. Yeah, I think that's our first Gotham. Like maybe there was like a televised like news segment in Superman. I don't know, probably, but like maybe. At least this is the first character, named character who has said it.
Yeah, well, I mean, and then the Penguin stuff too, but
is that James Gunn canon?
I thought it was.
Maybe
it might not be because they're not renewing it, unfortunately. So maybe it's not.
Yeah, it might not be. It might have been.
I forget now.
Oh, wait, no, you know what? Okay, so maybe. So it's not. It's not what it is. Yeah. It's not the same universe as Superman. It's the same universe as
Matt Reeves' Batman.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I forgot.
So it's technically that universe. So then never mind. We couldn't ignore that. Yeah.
Jesus. Nice. This was a fun little tangent we went on.
Yeah. Even on this podcast where we talk about all the comic book stuff, we forget what the hell's happening with Batman together because there's so many Batmans now. Anyway.
Batmen, if you will.
Batman. Okay, cool. Anything you didn't like before we get to time here, or any other final thoughts?
I feel like there's more to Hal's story about Abin Sur, right? Giving him the ring. There's way more to it. And I'm curious because this would be such a James Gunn thing to do, the joke at the end where he's like, I wasn't quite sure if his last words were good luck or F word, right? Which, very funny, right? But I wonder if that is supposed to draw attention to like what the last words actually were and if he misheard them, right? And if that story happens the way that he says it does, which John says that Hal is fearless, but Carrie says, yeah, maybe, but he's lonely. Like, that's different, right? And that's an interesting distinction that they're making because Hal says he's fearless because he lost his parents, right? And that's where we come full circle with like this lonely idea. And a few characters bring up the fact that John probably wants to die. But also he doesn't want to give up his job. Very conflicting information. Not sure where that's going.
Very conflicting. Yeah, as for me, I don't have anything that I really don't like yet about the show. I really like it's really just all gas right now, and I love it.
I'm dialed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, the humor is pretty spot on.
It's actually like super rewatchable too. Like I rewatched both episodes for this, but I was excited to do it because it's actually the humor hits even the second time. Like it's so well done.
Yeah,
so go watch it if you haven't yet.
The Harry Potter and Hogwarts line that Hal mentioned, on paper I feel like that's not very funny, but like Kyle Chandler is funny. Like he's hilarious even when he's just being like gruff, right?
Yeah.
The two dudes are just like dripping with charisma, man. They're just dripping with it. It's crazy.
They have great delivery. Absolutely.
I'm very excited for more. This show, like you said, is really hitting on all cylinders. So I guess just as a quick like recap, we're calling Zoe to be the Manhunter right now. Is that our call? Is that our declaration?
So far.
Okay. I like it. There's something weird about her. So yeah, let's say it's that. Let's
Zoe's
say she's a Manhunter.
Yeah. Let us know if you agree in the comments. Throw us a subscribe and a like, and keep up on tabs with what's going on with Lanterns with us on YouTube. And until next time, friends.
May the review be with you.
Peace.